Solve a murder. The decisive help is often indirect, not as obvious as a name or an address, but just a little piece of evidence that turns out to be crucial. And that's what happened here in Lincoln. 3 people came across something which under normal circumstances they would have disregarded. But 2 weeks earlier, they'd watched an appeal on Crimewatch.
Nearly there. 3, 2, 1. Whoa, look at that! Great! That's brilliant. Come on before we catch it.
Talking to our archaeologist, John Perry, that begins. Tomorrow it comes to be a
Are you there, Fred? Fred?
Someone saw Fred going into his gate at about 9 p.m. That's the last sighting we have as far as we can tell.
And the pathologist puts the time of death between 4 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Yes, but he was still in his day clothes. He hadn't got ready for bed yet.
Right, well, let's concentrate on all sightings between 9 o'clock and, say, midnight. Any sign of a weapon yet?
Chris and Russell are onto it.
Good. We'll get the house-to-house up and running. Let's try and get a handle on a motive.
Andy, let's get on with this house-to-house.
I think both Gordon Reedman and I were fairly horrified when we actually saw the amount of violence that poor old Fred Maltby had been subjected to, and the attack on him was quite horrendous. And I think that we actually paused and began to wonder what it was that we were going to be dealing with because of that extreme violence. It was so necessary against a man of that age.
You do feel all sorts of emotions, disgust, anger, hate, all those things do go through you. But it's important that you soon put them to one side and get on with the job.
If you need me, you can contact me at this address, Paul.
He was a very quiet man, was Fred. Private. He'd always lived alone.
Was he well off, do you know?
Oh, I shouldn't think so. I mean, he had a bit of land, I suppose, but it was too much for him to work anymore. He just used to sell a bit of fruit and veg from his garden shed. He always had a friendly word for you. Always the gentleman.
Can you think of any reason why someone might want to kill Mr. Maltby?
He was an old man, and he wasn't big. He couldn't hurt anyone.
Fred was a quiet, likeable man, fairly shy, but when you got to know him, he was a very good friend to me. I would call him my best friend. And, well, when it's your best friend, it leaves a big gap.
We're making inquiries about a very serious assault on the chap that lives here. Do you know him?
Yes.
Where do you live?
Next door.
Is that just there? Okay.
Well, in the house there was blood staining throughout the room in which he'd been killed. But on a cushion in the chair there was an outline in blood of an axe. And it appeared on the cushion in 2 or 3 different places, as if the offender had put the axe down and perhaps even wiped it on the cushion before taking it away.
Right, sir.
Well, I was driving home along Brant Road, past Fred Maltby's farm, when these 2 young blokes just dashed right out in front of me. I nearly hit them.
Going like the clappers they were. Down the passageway by the side of the doctor's surgery. I mean, it was a rainy night, and no one wants to be hanging around on a night like that.
Mm.
But these 2 were definitely in a real rush to get somewhere.
Do you think you might be able to help us put together some pictures of these men?
I don't know about the second lad, but the first one, yeah, I'll have a go.
Right, well. Here, where was you Tuesday? I thought you said you was going down the crow's nest.
Me and Steve was otherwise engaged, weren't we?
Yeah.
What? Was you doing a job?
Could say that. In fact, I'd say we done him pretty good, wouldn't you?
Hello, I'd like to speak to somebody about the murder, please. Yes. I don't know if it'll be any help, but they're these 2 blokes.
Yeah. OK, love, we'll take a look at them. No, don't worry, they won't know it was you who called. All right, thanks. Bye for now.
I think we might have something here, sir. Gary Bryant. Fits the description. Girl just phoned to say he's been mouthing off about the murder with another lad, Steve Webster.
Oh, yeah, they're familiar faces. Bring them in, let's see what they've got to say for themselves.
Bryant and Webster were known to the police. They were nuisance value, low-rate criminals. Often came to our notice for minor things. Bryant was seen in that area carrying a suspicious package the day after Fred Maltby's murder.
Off me sodding on. Piss off!
Yeah, they're just putting the suspects in the vehicle now. You all right, lads? Yeah, Keith's inside, and I'm just approaching the building myself.
Stephen Webster, I'm arresting you on suspicion of the murder of Fred Maltby. You do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You all right?
Oh, I think that'll do. All right. That's it? Yeah.
I've told you, it was just some old tools. My bike was off the road and my mate had lent me some spanners and stuff.
It didn't look like spanners to our witness. It looked like one single heavy object.
Now well, our eyes need testing. I'm telling you, it was some old spanners.
So why were you walking down by the river through Fred Maltby's land with this load of spanners?
It's a shortcut. Everyone knows it.
I'm now showing you item RH5, a left foot trainer. Is this yours, Gary?
Yeah.
What's this stain then?
Dirt.
You're not looking, Gary. Looks like blood to me.
Okay, so it's blood. Dropped something on my foot.
Like an axe, maybe.
We had to release Steve Webster because we had nothing further on him.
Tell him to come up, see what he's got. Tell him not to bother with that bloody rubbish. Tell him to keep looking.
All right, Gary, you may choose any way you like in the lineup. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Brian did admit bragging about the murder, but denied committing the murder.
If you'd like to walk up and down the line twice.
Any news?
No. Bolter. Yes. Okay. Picked out the eyewitness, son.
They couldn't be ruled out on blood. They couldn't be ruled out on their story. And they couldn't be ruled out because the witness had failed to pick them out. So they were still there hanging about all the time.
All right.
But for the time being, at any rate, we had to let Bryant go.
Hello, Tracy. You just missed your mum.
No, didn't want me, ma'am. I was wondering if I could have a word with you, actually.
Okay, me duck. Why don't you come through?
Cheers,
Mind the
Joe.
step. What can I do for you then?
Oh, it's nothing really. It's just that, well, my dad's got this new video and he wants to know if you'd be interested in buying the old one.
Oh, could be, yes. How old is it?
Well, it's only a couple of years. He wouldn't be getting rid of it, and he wanted one of them double speed ones, do you know what I mean?
You got it outside?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it. I'll let you out the back. Incident room, DCI Reedman. Hello, Bob. What? Yeah. Yeah, I know it. I'll be right there.
Well, it'll have to be Wednesday at about 3:30. Hang on.
That bastard that did Fred. He's done it again.
His name was Alan Riley, but apparently only his family ever called him that.
Once I know him, if you go through into the office.
Cheers, thanks, Tony. His customers knew him as Joe for some reason.
Honest Joe, the bookie, I suppose. I knew him by sight. He used to play golf over at Carhome Road. Quite a handicap, I think.
We were terribly sorry that it had taken a second murder to give us a second chance, so to speak. But we saw it as that, a second chance.
Fred Maltby, Joe Rylett. Both elderly men living on their own. Both murdered on a Tuesday night. No sign of forced entry in either case, so they probably both knew the killer. And yet again we have witnesses putting two lads running away from the scene. But what links them conclusively is their injuries. Now obviously the path report will give us more on them. But Gordon and I have seen Joe, and frankly it could have been Fred lying there. The head injuries were identical. But it looks like we could have more to go on with Joe than with Fred. Gordon.
Yes, Joe Rylett was a very different kettle of fish to Fred Maltby. We're not short of motives for Joe, unlike poor old Fred.
We could have something on that, boss. It seems the developer, Henry Boot, offered Fred $250,000 for his land a couple of years ago. It all fell through when the property market crashed, but somebody might not have known that.
Mm. Of course, Joe was a very well-known Lincoln face. I dare say some of you had a flutter or two with him yourselves. But he wasn't just a bookie. He cashed cheques for people, lent money. Now, maybe someone didn't want to pay him back. And his safe was opened with £3,000 missing from it.
So let's round up all Joe's debtors, get on to banks and building societies, ask around, see if someone suddenly started throwing their money around. Oh, Dick, get those two scroats, Bryant and Webster, back in.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Hey,
why does your mum know where you are?
Straight in. Quick you're in, quick you're out. Pig. Stay. Hey, you're embarrassing the typist, all right. Come on. Hey, just shut up, will you?
So, where were you on Tuesday then, Gary?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
At the Bally?
In the Nick. I have to report in every day under my bail conditions. You bastards kept me there all evening.
Well, you can't get a much more watertight alibi than the fact that he's locked up in a police station. So from that point on, we were able to eliminate Bryant and Webster. That meant that we then had to concentrate our efforts on those things which may be fruitful.
Did your brother charge interest?
No. Never chased people up if it was under 150 quid or so. I really used to have a go at him sometimes for it. I mean, he was far too trusting. He could be a stubborn old bugger sometimes. Just used to tell me to mind my own business.
So, did you know all these people you used to lend to?
Yeah, most.
Can you give us their names?
Oh, well, I don't know where to begin. Let's see, there was Tom Marwick, Dennis Smalley, Malcolm Stoning.
Malcolm who?
Stoning.
Stoning, yeah.
Vic Chant, Peter Smith.
Alan was like a father to me. He was 16 years older than I was. And when our father died, I was 5 years old and Alan would be 21. And he was like a surrogate father to me. He was a private man, quite a shy man, and not the sort of man you would associate really with a bookmaker, being a bookmaker.
Yeah, Joe was always very good to me. There's never anything dodgy about it or nothing, just used to help me out every now and then.
Did you ever go over to his shop?
Yeah. Well, around the back of the shop, like. It's the office he had there.
How much do you reckon you've had off him then over the years?
It was only over 100, 150 quid at a time, and I always paid him back.
Do you owe him money now?
No. It's, haven't seen him since, must be over a month.
What, not last Tuesday night?
No.
What were you doing last Tuesday? It was a very foggy night, if that helps jog your memory.
Yeah. Well, I think I must have been at home. I babysitting with the kids.
We set a very firm policy that we would interview each of these people. But really, it's fair to say that it took us nowhere, in the sense that although it identified a number of people, all of those people were alibied.
Detective Chief Inspector Reedman.
Oh, I see Forensic have been. And, you don't know who sold it to Joe? Sorry, Alan.
He didn't say, just that he bought it off some bloke who came to the office.
It was a man, then?
Yeah, well, I suppose so.
And when would that have been?
Well, that's why I phoned. It must have been a couple of days before he was killed, because, yeah, a couple of days before he was killed. Thought it had something to do with it.
Well, we'll take it in, see what they come up with. You never know. Cheers.
Right, thanks.
We traced the video recorder to a shop in Lincoln and found that it had been stolen from a house in the city about 2 weeks before Joe Rylett's murder.
What number is it again? I think it's 31. Oh, is it? Oh. That's his car, I think.
Right. This one.
29. I think this will be it.
Trevor Pope. Morning, Trevor. Long time no see. How's your girlfriend?
Trevor Pope was interesting to us because he had convictions for burglary and assault, and his girlfriend's mother worked for Joe Rylett in the shop.
Lincoln Police Station. The time, according to the interview room clock, is 4:43 p.m. and it's Monday, the 3rd of February, 1992. I am Detective Sergeant Dick Holmes.
I'm Detective Constable John Taylor.
Would you like to identify yourself?
Tracy Palmer. Look, I don't know why you've got me here. I don't know nothing about Joe's murder.
Let's just take things one at a time, shall we? What about the video?
What video?
Come on, Tracy. The video your boyfriend Trevor nicked and you fenced to Joe Rylett.
No offence. It was my dad's video. Trev didn't know nothing about it.
OK, Trevor, you don't have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you say may be given in evidence. You understand that?
You're right, Trevor. Tracy's told us she sold that video to Joe.
So?
So we think you nicked it out of that house you were renting. But we're not bothered by your usual sordid habits. This is murder. Something go wrong, eh? Did you go back to Joe's shop for more and he caught you at it? Talk to us, Trevor.
Talk to you. No chance, mate.
At the end of the day, she was charged with handling the stolen video, and we weren't able to take the matter against Pope any further.
Simon! Dad, make him stop. He's scaring all the dogs.
Stop it, Simon, or we're going home now.
Sam, Mario, Noel, the Coopers.
Don't start that again.
Well, Dad, why can't I have a Nintendo?
You know why? We can't afford it.
But Paul's got one and he's getting a Sega for his birthday.
I know. Maybe next year, eh? Well, come on. Finish off these last bits and then we'll get off home.
Bloody ducks.
Right, that's it. Come on.
Paint? What kind of paint? Yeah. Well, if you think you'll be of any help, yeah, see what he has to say about it. Oh, Gordon, have you got a minute?
There were tiny fragments of a substance embedded in the wounds of Joe Rylott, and the lab were now in a position to tell us that that was paint.
There, you see? A flame changing colour like that tells us it's a paint with a very high zinc content. But with fragments this small, I really can't tell you any more than that.
What use would it have?
Probably a primer, used for rust-proofing metal.
So it's fairly specialised then?
Afraid not. I'd say this stuff is available in factories and DIY superstores, from Bognor to Ballycoolish.
Oh! Oh!
Somewhere in the east of England, two small-time robbers have been engaged in a partnership that's led so far to at least 2 violent deaths. You may recall a murder reconstruction we did 3 months ago in Lincolnshire, where Fred Maltby was robbed and battered in his home. Fred Maltby was a quiet and self-contained man whose home was in a village just south of Lincoln.
We went to Crimewatch because we thought that the running men may be identified. That what he'd actually do was to open up a complete new line of enquiry that we really hadn't envisaged.
Oh, what would you give me if I swam this lake? Nothing. If you swam this lake? No, nothing really. Hey guys, look at this. What? Look. What's that in it? Dunno. And 2 old guys that were murdered. That was an axe. It was on the telly.
Yeah, it's really going to be that one, isn't it?
It might be. So what are we going to do with it? Don't get your prints on it. Here, give me your scarf. Come on, I need it. What are you going to do?
Bit of good news, boss. Some lads have just handed in what looks like our murder weapon. Found it on an island in the middle of Booton Park Boating Lake.
Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah, looks good to me.
OK, we'll get forensics onto it right away.
Shall I tell the press office to put out a release on it?
No publicity for the moment. Let's see what we've got.
OK.
When the axe was found, it gave the enquiry a new focus. There was little doubt it was the murder weapon because the lab found traces of Joe Rylott's blood on it. They also said it probably, though not conclusively, left the mark on Fred Maltby's cushion. And perhaps most interestingly of all, it had been painted with a grey paint which appeared to match the fragments in Joe Rylott's wounds. There were no fragments of paint in Fred Maltby's head. So the indications were that the murderer had painted it between the 2 murders, probably to cover up what he thought may be on it, i.e. the blood of Fred Maltby.
Don't get your hopes up. I still can't tell you what your paint is. But I might be able to narrow down the field for you.
Anything will help.
First of all, the zinc in it isn't new. It's reconstituted. But better, from your point of view, I've identified the binding agent, the stuff that holds it together. It's a rather unusual resin called epoxy ester D4.
How unusual?
Well, I've done a bit of research, and the good news is that only one factory makes it.
And the bad?
Twofold, really. A, the factory's in Essen, in Germany. B, they distribute the resin to paint manufacturers all over Europe.
How big did you say our foreign travel budget was?
Good dog. Dinner up?
They've been here again.
Who?
You know who? Dead men, standing on the doorstep for all the neighbours to see.
What did you tell them?
Oh, don't worry, I got rid of them. Again. But that's the last time, Dennis. You've got to get them off our backs somehow. Dinner's ready. Dennis? Where are you going?
Guten Tag. Wir führen in Lincoln, England, eine Morduntersuchung.
It was crucial that we find out as much as we could about this paint. And so I led a team of officers across into Germany, and we made inquiries there and at a number of paint manufacturers in Holland, Belgium and France. We were obtaining samples of their paints, and these were being examined by forensic scientists at Huntingdon.
Do you use epoxy ester D4?
Yes.
And do you also use reconstituted zinc?
Your paint is zinc-based grey primer, and you export it to England.
No, it is not grey, it is white. We export to England with white paint.
White.
After several weeks of painstaking work, the lab were finally able to identify the paint on the axe. It was a spray paint called Rust-Oleum 2185. Rust-Oleum is a Dutch-based company who use British import agents that are based in the Midlands.
Yeah, we're really just interested in the outlets in the Lincoln area.
It's like I said, off the top of my head, I wouldn't know, but I'll check for you.
Okay.
We were able to trace the Midland distribution network, and in fact we discovered that there was only one firm in Lincoln that actually took Rust-Oleum in, and that was a firm called Hycombe Florum Supplies.
I bet he's going to tell us they sell this stuff all over the bloody country.
Mr. Foster?
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, you gentlemen want to see our stock of Rust-Oleum?
That's right.
Yeah, well, it's just over here. There you go.
Was that all of it? Haven't you sold any?
We were sent 36 tins this year. We got this 12 left. Sold the rest.
Where to?
If you come with me, I'll show you.
All of it to here? All 24 cans?
Don't believe it.
After we traced the distribution network of Rust-Oleum, our inquiries led us into a local company, Specialist Heat Exchangers, who employ less than a couple of hundred people. So we'd suddenly gone from 100,000 suspects, that being the population of Lincoln, down to less than 200 who would have access to this paint. And so we began to look at each and every one of the people that were employed there.
Ronnie, what's going on?
Oh, Bill, seems they want to know about the paint we use.
Here's a name that rings bells. Dennis Granville Smalley.
Yeah.
Dennis. Come in.
Hello, Paul.
Do you want a cup of tea?
No, thanks. Actually, I was just wanting a quick word with you.
Go on.
You can see my car from your window there, can't you?
Yeah, I suppose so, if I look.
Can you remember if I went out in it a couple of Tuesdays ago?
Sorry, mate. You don't know whether you did or not. I'm hardly likely to, am I?
Ah, no, of course not. Ah, sorry, mate. Just a thought.
Dennis Smalley, one of the Specialist Heat Exchange employees, was the only person that had figured before in the inquiry because he'd borrowed money from Joe Rylett, and because of that he became very interesting from that moment on.
Yes, Dennis has worked here 7 years, I think. Never had any problems. Good attendance record. Until his accident.
Accident?
Car accident. Him and his wife and kids. It was quite serious.
How long ago was that?
About 5 years ago. He was off work for about 8 months or so.
What about this paint, Rust-Oleum? We know you use it at work. Would Dennis take any of it home with him?
Well, yeah. I mean, the management turn a blind eye. It's a perk, really. Everyone takes a bit here and there.
What for?
Just for odd touching up jobs. If your car's a bit rusty or whatever.
What kind of bloke is Dennis, then?
Nice enough. He doesn't mix much, but that's all right. Crazy about his kids. Always talking about them. That and shooting.
What kind of shooting?
Clay pigeon, I think. I'm not much interested in it myself.
Big bloke, Dennis, isn't he? Does he ever throw his weight around?
No, never. Look, if you're trying to pin these murders on him, forget it. Dennis just isn't the type. He's, well, placid, I suppose is the word. Sort of gentle giant.
Now, when we talked to you before, Dennis, you said that on Tuesday the 28th of January you were at home babysitting. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, my wife works evenings at Asda's, so I look after the kids.
When did they go to bed?
Usually about 9. Sometimes I let Anna stay up reading while I've passed. She's a little so-and-so for reading, is Anna.
And your wife gets back when?
10 past. 10:15.
One of your mates told us you mentioned you knew Fred Maltby. Is that right, Dennis?
25 years ago, just after I left school, a mate and I worked Saturday mornings for him. They stopped there about, 5, 6 months. Just helping out the farm.
Sorry. And when did you last see him?
Well, that were it. 25 years ago.
I was supposed to be at work half an hour ago. But I hope you're going to put them things back when you're finished with them.
Don't worry, love, of course we will.
I don't believe this. Will you be careful of that? Look, I don't know what you're looking for, but you're not going to find it.
Oh, that's the one.
Great. Application for firearms licence. DG Smalley. Intended venue for shooting. Land belonging to Fred Maltby. Thanks, Renata. Will you do me a copy of that?
Yeah, sure, John. No problem.
Tell her.
Morning, love. Dick Holmes, Lincolnshire CID. Do you mind if I have a look at your visitors book?
Yes, okay.
Cheers.
Good morning, Specialist Heat Exchangers. I'll just try his extension for you.
You can get to the river down this path, can't you?
Yeah.
And beyond the river would be Fred Maltby's farm. Is it walkable from here, would you say?
Yeah, there's a bridge just along the way. It should take about half an hour or so.
Hey, Fletch.
Yeah, we've got
Couple of mail receipts there. Worth keeping.
Dennis Smalley. 27th of January. Joe Rylett.
What about Joe Rylett, then? How well did you know him?
Well, I wouldn't say we're a mate, like. He used to cash checks for me every once in a while. And then there were the 2 times I borrowed a bit off him.
How much?
Last time it was 110 quid for my car insurance.
Is that why he came to see you at your workplace the day before he was murdered?
Yeah. Yeah, I paid him off. It was all square.
But Dennis, we know Joe never used to chase up debts that small. He wouldn't have bothered, not unless it was a hell of a sight more than 110 quid, unless it was more like thousands.
No, I never owed Joe that much.
We think you did. And Joe was hassling you for it, wasn't he?
No, it was all square.
You owe money to other people too, don't you?
Well, banks and that, yeah.
Yeah, we've been speaking to them. You've been borrowing left, right and centre.
Times have been hard since my accident. I never got all the compensation I should have.
In fact, by our calculations, you owe something in the region of £27,000.
Stopped my money completely after a while.
You've been robbing Peter to pay Paul. They've all been hassling you. Debt collectors, cheques bounced. We know all about it.
I had to borrow money to keep my head above water.
And yet, on the 31st of January, you were able to pay off £750 by registered post. That's 3 days after Joe Rylett was murdered. And there were other debts you suddenly paid off, too. Now, I want you to listen to me, Dennis.
Yeah?
We've had an accountant compile a report on your financial situation, and he tells us that by the end of February, you'd paid off nearly £2,000.
Yeah, well, what that was my Uncle Jack died, and he had one of them, them timeshare things. And I got nearly £900 from that.
Joe had £3,000 in his safe, and you were desperate.
I wouldn't stoop to a thing like that if I was in debt up to my neck.
But you were in debt up to your neck, Dennis, weren't you? You were drowning, mate.
For the benefit of the tape, it is 11:28 a.m. and Detective Constable Taylor has entered the interview room. It is now 11:29 a.m. and I intend to conclude the interview.
I just thought you ought to know, boss. House to House have come up with a woman who lives across from Smalley who says he definitely went out that night.
Well, can't she be sure it was the night of Joe's murder?
Oh, she's adamant. She was worried about his kids being left on their own. She even mentioned it to her mum on the phone.
Great. Well, let's leave it for a bit. Let him have his dinner.
No, I never leave my children on their own. Never.
Well, we have a witness who's prepared to swear that you left your house at 7:45 that night and you didn't return until 2 hours later.
I love my children. I couldn't.
And during those 2 hours, Joe Rylett was murdered.
Oh, I was at home.
Oh, you're lying, Dennis. Just like you lied about Fred Maltby. We know you shot on his land.
I never. I applied to, but I never did. I only ever shot down the club.
Do you know Booton Park Boating Lake, Dennis?
Yeah?
When was the last time you were there?
Middle of last year. I took the kids.
Not since?
No. To feed the dogs. And then that were on the other side.
You seem
Other
very
side
sure
of what?
about the
Hang
time
on. That was round the other side of what? Dennis, the other side of what?
Well, when I was there the other day, I saw there were a police car there. And that were around the other side. Of the lake.
We had not released by the media the precise location of where the axe had been found. Now, the only people who would have known where the axe had been found were the 3 lads and the murderer.
You're charged with the offences shown below. You do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
Aye.
At Lincoln, between the 30th of September 1991 and the 3rd of October 1991, did murder Fred Maltby, contrary to common law. Do you understand?
Right.
At Lincoln, between the 27th of January 1992 and the 30th of January 1992, did murder Norman Allen Rylett,
contrary to common law. You understand?
That's right.
Right, just like to sign at the bottom.
Smalley had no alibi. He knew both victims. He had a strong motive. And he had access to the paint which was found on the axe. We now had a very strong case against him.
Members of the jury, on the count of the murder of Alan Rylott, do you find the accused, Dennis Granville Smalley, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Well, after the trial, it was just a huge relief, and I suppose it's just a question of, like my mother used to say, life is not picking up a good hand, it's picking up a bad hand and playing it well, and we'll try and play it the best as we can.
On the count of the murder of Frederick Maltby, do you find the accused guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Having got the man, it's not going to make any difference to Fred. We're not going to see Fred again. I think that's sort of uppermost in your mind, really, regardless of what happens to Dennis Smalley.
I think he probably got himself into such a dire financial position that he couldn't see any way out of it. How can you feel sympathy when two relatively old men have been killed for no real reason? You can't feel any sympathy for him, can you?
What are you doing? 3, 2, 1.
I knew Dennis Smalley. We grew up together in St Peter's Avenue in Lincoln. He was a couple of years older than me. I do remember one occasion when we went down to Booton Park. There's a lake there, and we undid the lock and almost drained the lake. I couldn't imagine Dennis committing a crime like this. He appeared harmless. I never ever think about Dennis Smalley now at all. I just don't think about him at all.
If Dennis Smalley had actually thrown that axe and it had missed the island, if he'd thrown it with more or less force, had it gone in the water and the axe hadn't been recovered, then I'm sure that we would have never actually got to the bottom of these two murders.